Boys, UFC Kansas City, Ian Garry, Carlos Prates just finished up, and I got a lot to say about this card. First off, I am so angry with just like the UFC in general. If you guys were watching my Twitter, shout out to my Twitter, link in the description, but I was crashing out a little bit on Twitter. You know, we'll get to the moments of crashing out, but as you can see on screen, we got every single winner and the boy CP himself. And we also got those prelims. We'll run through those quickly at the very end because I know a lot of you guys don't really care for that. But let's get into this main event. The main event, Carlos Prates, Ian Garry. It's, Carlos Prates just couldn't get shit going. It was sad to see. It was, you knew immediately, round one, especially round two, I'm like, yeah, he's going to lose this by decision. Granted, he did have a good moment towards the end of the fight. He hurt Ian Garry. He could have finished Ian Garry, but I swear, Carlos Prates' fight IQ is borderline just plain out retarded. He had Ian Garry hurt. I don't know why he didn't go for a hammer fist while he was on the ground. I don't know. It was very frustrating to watch. Whatever. Ian Garry shows that, yes, he is arguably right there with the best of the best in the division. But with that being said, Ian Garry, I'm not going to forget that your ass still lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov. Your ass ain't getting the next title shot. We're giving it to Shavkat. And in the meantime, another dude is going to be having a fight here not too far away. I think Ian Garry, he has to have some sort of injury to his arm. It looked a little bit swollen. It could be nothing, but I think there's going to be an injury, maybe a fracture, something like that. He's going to need some time off, which is perfect because there's going to be a fight up here very soon where I think the winner of this fight fights Ian Garry next for a number one contender fight. That's going to be Ian Garry, Joaquin Buckley. Yes, I think Buckley's going to beat Kamaru Usman. I think he's beating old man Kamaru Usman. I think he finishes old man Kamaru Usman. And yeah, this is a perfect number one contender. And we're finally getting back to the UFC where we're getting deserving number one contenders. And the winner of this, like I said, is a deserving number one contender. But let's keep moving down. CP, the boy Carlos Prates. I've been seeing this all over Twitter. This has to be the worst CP that a lot of people have ever seen. I wouldn't know lots about that, but I've been seeing a lot of people saying this is the worst CP they've ever seen in their life. And, I tend to agree with them on that. This was a terrible performance by Carlos Prates. I don't know what the hell happened to him in the first, second, and third round. Fourth and fifth, he started to turn it up a little bit, but very gun shy, very timid. And the fight IQ just wasn't there. Ian Garry did a very good job with his fight IQ, breaking up the rhythm, but it is what it is. I don't know who to give Carlos Prates. Randy Brown did call him out. As you can see, Randy Brown is down there, so I'm not going to be giving him Randy Brown because I want to give them separate matchups. And I don't know who to give Carlos Prates. Does he deserve a guy higher than him in the rankings? I don't think so, but there's no one. Go look at the top 15 right now. The only one that makes sense is rebooking Jeff Neal. Two of the hardest hitters in this division. Fuck it. Book these guys next. I don't care. I don't know what to do with Carlos Prates, and I'm kind of disappointed with just his fight IQ in general. I was surprised with he did good for his takedown defense, but just fight IQ in general was a big letdown. Let's move into fucking Anthony Smith and Zhang Mingyang. This is where I was popping off. I was so pissed. The UFC is such a dog shit company ran by literal retards and just have zero respect for their legends of the sports, Yes, let's give Anthony Smith, someone who has accomplished, some things, but in the grand scheme of things, very little to some of these other legends. Perfect example, Stipe Miocic. This dude got, they treated Anthony Smith like a fucking princess waiting to get rescued from a dragon. That's how they treated Anthony Smith this whole week, even after the fight with that little gay video. Yet they couldn't do anything close to that for other legends like Stipe. We have Tony Ferguson. I could go on and on for all the legends that retired, that the UFC didn't have a single ounce of, let me give him a little bit of extra, appreciation. They couldn't do any of that. It is what it is. Also, Paul Felder, fuck you, you're a little bitch as well. During the interview with Zhang, zero energy, was being very weird about it, like he wasn't supposed to go out there and finish Anthony Smith. Very weird behavior from Paul Felder. That being said, Zhang Mingyang, Paul Felder, book that shit now. The beef is there. I'm just kidding, but let's give him Alonzo Menifield. I think this would be a fun matchup, a little bit higher in the rankings. If he beats Alonzo, we can look at someone in like the top 10-ish area. But yeah, good win for Mingyang. And again, with Anthony Smith, everyone's praising him. Oh, congratulations, Anthony, a legend, a warrior. And yet, the smallest bit of adversity, this man fucking quit again. I predicted it to a T. I told you that shit was going to happen. The littlest cut on his head. Yes, okay. When the blood goes into your eye, you don't shake your fucking head. You shake your head to show everyone in the audience on TV, look, there's blood going in my eyes, I can't see. You don't shake your head like a retard. So Anthony Smith, I'm glad he's gone. We don't need to see him get any more CTE. Plus he just wastes, pay-per-view spots and just main card spots. Glad we don't have to see him anymore. I'm happy for him that he retired and got the princess treatment. I'm more pissed at the UFC than anything else, but let's keep moving down. David Onama got it done. I pretty much predicted this a little, not exactly to the T. I thought he was going to win like 30-27. It was a back and forth fight for round 1. Round 2, round 3, Onama did have some good ground control against Giga. I think we do David Onama now that he's pretty high, now that he's inside those rankings. I think we give him Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett on the way down. I think this would be a fun matchup, a good way to get David Onama into the top 10 area. And yeah, Josh Emmett, old man Josh Emmett, there's still a possibility he could get it done in this fight, but we have to give Josh Emmett someone. Let's give him David Onama. Moving down, Abus Magomedov. Now, Abus is so sad because Anthony Hernandez literally took Michel Pereira's soul, and it was clear as day in the first minute of the fight that Michel Pereira isn't the same fighter. It was giving me so much like Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis type of vibes. That's how Michel Pereira was acting. Sad to see. It is what it is. But yeah, who do we give a boost now? I was looking at the rankings. Not a lot of people make sense to give a boost. Let's do Russia on Russian violence. A boost versus Roman Kapilov. I think Kapilov is supposed to fight, what's his name? Paulo Costa, but I don't see it being official yet. It might be official and this just looks retarded, but I couldn't really think of anyone else to give Magomedov. But if it is official, winner of, Roman Kapilov and Paulo Costa can fight a boost. Let's move down. Randy Brown got it done. Nasty KO. Freaking put his whole nose, put Dalby's whole nose on the other side of his face. The commentary was roasting him. It was pretty funny, but I called it pretty much exactly. I did say round 2, and watching that replay of the knockout, the first thing I thought about when he got knocked out, I was like, holy shit, why does this look so familiar? Then I'm thinking about, oh yeah, this shit was almost a 1-to-1 replica of Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. But that being said, he did good. I called it exactly. We did pretty good on predictions. I think we went 9-5. Okay, not that great, but we did okay. 9-5. We got this one right, and I think he wants a top 15. I don't think we give him a top 15 just yet. One more fight. Both these dudes are on the verge of entering the top 15. I think we put them against each other and winner gets a top 10 spot. That's going to be Fakhretdinov. Now, I don't really fuck with Renat that much. I think Randy Brown gets it done. And this is a huge name that Randy Brown can get on his resume. And again, winner of this, we're not just giving you a top 15 spot. You're getting a top 10 spot. So I think that's a good way to get these guys to accept this fight. You can say, hey, you guys are fighting for a top 10 spot next. Winners gain a top 10 fight, not just 15, top 10. So I think this is a good matchup. Run the shit next. This could be a fun fight to watch on a main event of a prelim on a pay-per-view. I wouldn't be mad about that. But Ikram Aliskerov, he also got it done. I also pretty much predicted this to a T, but I thought it would be a round 2 KO, but it ended up being round 1. He made this shit look easy. It was a KO, but buddy, you ain't getting no top 15. You ain't getting no top 10. He called for top 10, top 15. Best I can do is buff Barack Obama. Gregory Rodriguez, Robocop, I think this would be a fun matchup. Rodriguez just fought Jared Cannonier. So if Ikram Aliskerov can go out there, beat Gregory Rodriguez, then we can maybe look at a top 15 fight after that, but you ain't getting a top 15 fight right away, buddy. You got that. You got a layup against Whitaker, fumble the bag. But regardless, let's run through these prelims real quick because I know you guys don't really care that much about it. Matt Schnell got it done. He has did you guys notice that Matt Schnell low-key has a brand new chin? He ate a flush up kick and act like nothing happened. Regardless, got it done. Good win. I think we do Ode Osborne and loser can get cut. We already cut Jimmy Flick. We move on. Who's next? Who's going to join the GFL next? This is a good fight. Move it down. Evan Elder, he did good. He pretty much just was busier and more accurate than Young. And you know, it wasn't that much of a crazy performance. He did good, nothing crazy. Rongzhu next. I think this would be a fun matchup. And to be honest, I wasn't that impressed with this fight, you know. Young was on such a short notice fight, and I feel like he did really good, like, with all things considered. But moving down, Chris Gutierrez got it done. And to sum up this fight, you know, I did pick John Castaneda to get it done. He just didn't do enough to get the win. I think we do Chris Gutierrez, Ricky Simón next. Both these guys haven't had the most amount of success lately. They're both on a win. They both have a win recently, but nothing crazy. Run this one next. Damon Blackshear. What do we do with Damon Blackshear after dominating this fight pretty much? When Alatahe Lee did land, Damon Blackshear did a very good job on, you know, blocking all of his shots. But he just refused to do any ground game, and I thought he could get a submission here, but it is what it is. He did good, pretty dominant fight. Damon Blackshear, I think we give him the guy who just lost to Chris Gutierrez, John Castaneda. Makes sense in the rankings, makes sense, you know, time-wise. And yeah, run this one next. And then this one, Malcolm Wellmaker, fucking crazy knockout. Fuck, you know, I thought Simon was gonna be so much better. I think he got a little bit overhyped. He got slept so easily. Now people can say, you know, it was all the time off, but my thinking was with all that time off, he was gonna be 10 times better. No, I think we just overhyped this dude. South Africa, sit down. I think we do Wellmaker versus fucking Gaston. I think this would be a fun matchup, and I'm just trying to pad this dude's knockout resume. Plus, this is fairly close in the rankings as well, and I'm not trying to give him a huge jump up. Moving down, Jaqueline got it done, and, you know, shout out to everyone who did watch the potential women fight of the year. You know, she pretty much did whatever she wanted to Polyana that whole fight, especially round one. Round one, she had her in some crazy positions. If you know, you know. She could have gone full-on prison style. Again, if you know, you know, but she made it look easy. She does deserve a ranking spot. I think we give her Luana Pinheiro. Luana is somehow ranked 14th in the division. Run this one next. Get her into the rankings. Moving down, Timothy Cuamba got it done. It was, you know, Romero did good until he got rocked, and then he landed Timmy landed that nasty ass flying knee. Was it an early stoppage? Maybe not. You know, if he was able to like continue and land some ground and pound, I don't think people would be complaining. But yeah, I think it was an okay stoppage, and not like some of the. First off, I forgot to talk about the refereeing in this fight. Thankfully, Dan didn't fuck up the main event, but he ref 2 different fights on this card. I think it was the Poliana versus Amorim fight. He tried to stop the fight twice, 2 different times, 5 seconds early. Idiot. But moving down, Timmy. What do we do with Timmy? We give him Francis Marshall. I don't really know. You know, fuck it. Run this one next. Why not? Then Edwards got it done. Folded Chandler like a lawn chair. Round 1. Let's give her Yana Santos. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Let's do that one. Let me know in the comments below what do you guys think of this match and what do you guys think of this fight night. And yeah, thank you for watching to the end of the video, and I will see you guys in my next video.